Welcome once again in the Department of English, RBNB College, Srirampur. And you are watching a video on the famous novel by George Orwell named Animal Farm. And this is the video about chapter number 4 of the Animal Farm. Now here is the lesson plan for you, or what are the important incidents which are going to take place in this chapter. Number 1 is the farms. There are 3 farms. Number 1 is animal farm, which belongs to animal now. The animals are ruling this farm. The second one is Foxwood farm, and the owner of this Foxwood farm is Mr. Pillington. The third farm is Pinchfield farm, and Mr. Frederick is the owner of this farm. These 2 farms are the adjoining farm of animal farm. What is adjoining? That is neighboring farm, we say. The second important thing in this chapter is about the rumors. How the owners of these 3 farms, I mean here the owner of Manor Farm, that is Mr. Johns, and his men, as well as Mr. Frederick and Mr. Pillington, how they spread rumors about Animal Farm. The third one is, that is about the Cowshed Battle, that is Mr. John is, we can say, away from his farm, and animals captured the farm. Here, Mr. Jones, with his neighboring farmers, tries to recapture this farm. And there was a battle between animals and human being. And this battle is known as Cowshed Battle. Actually, in this battle, the novelist very minutely gives us the description of this battle. And so for our study, I divided this battle into again 3 parts. That is, first line attack, second line attack, and the third line attack, which was the strategy of Mr. Snowball, who is a pig, and now he is the leader of animals in Animal Farm. And the last point is about the celebrations over the victory of animals, how the animals celebrate this victory, and the military decorations. Now I come to the first point, that is about the farms. In the 3rd chapter we studied that the manor farm becomes animal farm. The principles of behavior is known as animalism. We have studied the 7 commandments in the animal farm. We studied how the animals face the difficulties because as there were no tools made for the animals. How the pigs learn the technique to make the tools, or we can say the skill of blacksmiths, and how the harvest gives the success. And so now they are settled, and the main, we can say, the aim of the novelist starts with this chapter. Here, as we have already studied, that old Major is died, he is no more, but he inspired the animals to revolt against the human being, and the animals captured this farm, and they are now settled. Now the leaders, that is Snowball and Napoleon, gives the jobs to the pigeons And what was the job was given to him, given to them? To fly in the other farms and give the message of revelation, to teach the animals in the adjoining farm the technique of revelation, to say them how human being is the only enemy of all animals. So the job was given to the pigeons, because due to the compound and due to the hedges, no animal can enter in other farms. So the job was given to the birds, so they can fly and sit on the branches of the trees, and they usually start to sing the tune of Beast of England, Beast of Ireland. And they start to tell the stories how the life in animal farm is good one, and how the life in the other farms is bad for the animals. So the main purpose, or we can say main aim of this activity, is to rebel the animals against the human being and teach the tune of Beast of England, Beast of Ireland. Now here what happens? Mr. John is out of the farm. Actually, he is a drunkard person, and he lost his everything. He lost his farm, he lost his cattle, he lost his property, he lost his house, he lost everything. So he usually goes to wine shops and takes extra dose of wine. And whenever he meets the people or men around him, he tells that how there is an injustice the animals made against him. He tells the tragic tale of him and how he lost everything. First of all, the men who listen his story, they neglect the story. Some farmers, they laugh at the pitiable condition of Mr. Jones. Some would like to take the advantage of this situation. So every farmer is looking at Mr. John on his own way. But Mr. John usually tells them his pathetic story, the story of his misfortune, the story of his, we can say, injustice. Because what is his expectations? That other farmers would help him to recapture the farm. So he tells the other owners, one day or the other, the revelation would take place in your farm, and you would be, your condition would be like me. So this is the best chance to help me to recapture my farm. Then the novelist gives us detail about the adjoining farms of animal farm. Number one is Cowshed farm. So this is a very large farm in compared to animal farm, but it is in bad terms because it is old fashioned, it is neglected one, and it is, we can say, it is in disgraceful condition. And the owner of it, actually he is a gentleman, but he spends more time either in fishing or in hunting. That's why his farm is neglected. The another farm is known as Pinchfield. That is, Mr. Frederick is the owner of this farm. This farm is smaller in compared to these two farms, that is a Cowshed farm and animal farm. But this the owner of this farm, that is Mr. Frederick, he is very wise person and he is perpetually or continuously involved in lawsuit. So after telling about the land, about the farm and about the owners, novelist tells us that there was great rivalry between these three farms. Even the owner of Foxwood and Pinchfield and even Mr. Jones, it is hard for them to believe the name Animal Farm. They laugh at Jones and they tries to spread the rumors against this Animal Farm. They spread the rumors that the animals in Animal Farm, they are starving. There is an acute shortage of food. That's why animals are starving. Even they are cannibals and are using common females. They torture each other, and all of these things are against the law of nature, and the nature would punish them. So it was the view of all of these three, we can say, owner of the farm, that is Manor Farm, Pinchwood Farm and Foxwood Farm. Now we are described about the atmosphere in Animal Farm and the adjoining farm. The story of the revelation starts to spread everywhere in the country, especially in these two farms, and the pigeons get the good response from the other animals in the adjoining farm. The tune Beast of England, Beast of Ireland, which is the inspiring song of Revelation, become so popular in the neighboring farms or in the adjoining farms. And the owners of these farms, whenever they listen that the animal in their farm is listening or singing the tune Beast of England, Beast of Ireland, immediately they take the whips and starts to beat the animal. In short, we can say the owners of this farm tries to suppress this revelation, but they get failure in it. The song becomes more and more popular, and here the owners, they are afraid because the situation is out of their control. They fail to suppress the revelation of animals. And in the early October, what happens? Suddenly the corn becomes cut, it was stacked and it was thrashed even also. And suddenly a group of pigs, a group of pigeons, they start fluttering very rapidly and they start to whirl on the open space of Animal Farm, because they brought some important message. And what was the message? They told the animals that John, with the help of the neighboring farmers and with his men, they are marching towards Animal Farm. They had sticks in their hands, and Mr. John has a gun in his hand. In short, the pigeon explains the aim of their marching. They tells the animals that Mr. John with his men or with his friends, with his adjoining farmers, they are coming at animal farm to recapture the animal farm. So actually it was expected. Snowball expected this because he thought that someday or the other John would come back again. John will try to recapture his farm. So he made his own strategy because he is now leader. Napoleon and Snowball, these are the two leaders. And this Snowball's character is more interested in the war strategy. He also, because every pig starts to read and write, and he reads the book on Julius Caesar's campaigns, and through that book he learned how to make self-defense also. So he expects, he made his already prepared for the war or already prepared for the battle. He made design in his mind. He made his policy. He made his own strategy. And when Snowball gets the message that Mr. John and his men, they are entering the 5-barred gate, he gives the signals to every animal, and every animal takes their positions as it was already suggested by Mr. Snowball. It was the part of their plan. And now the Cowshed Battle is going to take place. As earlier I said that I divide this Cowshed Battle into 3 different parts as the novelist told us. So number 1 is first line attack. So what is this first line attack? The geese in the animal farm, they hide behind the hedges. And when John and his men enter through this 5-barred gate, these geese rushed out and pecked at the calves of their legs. In short, we can say they started to pick the legs of the human being. Actually, human being is very mighty animal in compare with these geese, and naturally here human being gets the victory. With the help of their sticks, they drive these geese and they get the victory. Actually, it was the plan of Mr. Snowball. Human being gets victory and they are proud of themselves that somehow they get the victory. So they start to march ahead, and here the second line attack starts. Here Muriel, sheep, and Benjamin, the donkey, they are ready to fight against human being under the leadership of Snowball. They started to prod or butt and lash the human being from all directions. Actually, the aim of first line attack was to confuse the human being. Okay. The aim of this second line attack is also to confuse the human being, John and his men, because this butt and lash and prod from all directions. Human being, John and his men, they could not understand. They become confused. They don't know what to do. and they with the help of their sticks and hobnailed boots, they start to kick the animals. They start to beat the animals with their sticks. And here there was, we can say, very fast movements takes place. Immediately, Snowball gives the signals to Muriel, Benjamin, and the sheep to retreat. Again, it was Snowball's plan. And animals, they turn and run through the gateway into the yard. And men become happy. They started to celebrate their triumph or victory, and they rushed into disorder. And Snowball expects this. It was the part of his strategy. And so, being happy, being greedy, all of these human beings starts to go ahead or march ahead. And here, the third line attack starts. Here, we have 3 horses, 3 cows, and rest of the pigs. They are in the ambush in the cowshed. What is ambush? They hide themselves and they were waiting for these human beings. First of all, Snowball gives signal to attack the human being, and Snowball himself dashed straight towards Mr. John, and Mr. John with his gun tries to fire the gun, and the pellets score along Snowball's back. But unfortunately here, the sheep drop dead. So we can say this is the first casualty in this battle. Here, John hurled into the pile. So when John was attacked by Snowball, because Snowball is a very heavy, we can say, pig. So naturally, John, how the novelist describes this situation, just like we are listening the running commentary of a battle, and we are told that John hurled into a pile of dung with his gun out of his hands. Immediately, Boxer comes ahead, and with he rears up his hind legs and strikes out with his great iron-shoed hoofs. And his first blow is on Mr. Foxwood's skull, and it makes him lifeless in the mud. And there was the panic in human being. They started to run from here and there. Even they dropped out their sticks. And animal starts to chase these human beings. They are good with their horns. They kick and bite and tramp. Even a small cat plays a role in this battlefield. And she jumped from the roof of the roof on Cowman's shoulders, and she sink her sharp claws in the neck. And when the battle is over, our Boxer is a very sensitive animal. He feels unhappy that due to his iron-shod hoofs, he killed a human being. And he cries for it. But Snowball says him, "Friend, this is not time to cry. This is time to celebrate. After all, war is war, and everything is excuse in this war." He tries to say like this. And here, when the discussion was going on, somebody called that where is Molly? Where is Molly? And every animal, they were shocked that they never see Molly there. Some says that Molly goes with them. Some say Molly becomes the mare, white mare. She may be martyr in this battle. And they try to search Molly. And later on, she finds in her stall with her head buried among the hay in the manger. That means her character is reflected. That how she hides from the battle because she had no interest in the battle. She had no interest in the animalism and the principles of animalism or the 7 commandments. She is interested only in the ribbons and lump of sugar. Now, meanwhile, the man who is injured in this battle, he flees away from this animal farm. Then the animals get the victory and they want to celebrate the victory. So as in the 3rd chapter we studied that animals made their own flag with the help of tablecloth, green tablecloth, and there are the symbols of hoof and horns on the flag. So the flag hosting takes place. There becomes the funeral of the dead sheep, and Snowball gives the speech on the funeral occasion, and he says he calls all animals to be ready to die for animal farm. And here they unanimously decide to create a military decoration of the occasion. And this battle is, the name of the battle is given as the Cowshed Battle. And Mr. Jones' gun is set at the foot of the flagstaff, and it is just like a piece of artillery. And it was decided to fire this gun twice a year. Number 1 is October the 12th, that is 12th October, which is the anniversary of the Cowshed Battle, and the second time is the Midsummer Day, which is the anniversary of Revelation, when animals take the charge of animal farm. Then later on, the military decorations were given, and what was there? That the 2 awards were given for this battle. Number 1 is Animal Hero First Class, and this award is given to Snowball and Boxer. It consists of a brass medal, and they can wear it on Sundays and holidays. And the second prize is that title, that is Animal Hero Second Class. Here Animal Hero Second Class is given to the dead sheep. Now the sheep is the martyr, and what title is given to sheep? Animal Hero Second Class. But Snowball gets the title Animal Hero First Class. Now here the foundation of Revelation is going to be take place. Here the chapter number 4 of Animal Farm ends. Thanks to spare time with me.